There is an old saying in the army, if it moves, salute it. If it doesn't, paint it. Although the crocodile is the most advanced of reptiles, its brain works in a similar primitive fashion. For most of the year, the command would be, if it moves, eat it. But while they are nesting, the females seldom eat, and if, during this time, there is something small and helpless on the beach, the command seems to be, if it moves, mother it. The croc picks up the baby turtle and takes it into her gently smiling jaws. For the female turtle, the attack she suffered to lay her eggs near the crocodiles have paid off. Her young get a relatively safe passage across the beach, and one of them even gets carried down to the water. This glut of eggs the crocodiles provide every year is shared by a mixed bag of creatures. The marsh mongoose makes a quick visit to grab one while the female is taking a mouthful of young to the river. For their first few days, the 10-inch hatchlings live off their yolk sacs and stick together close to the place they first swam out of their mother's jaws. The female is still constantly on guard. She defends her stretch of shoreline against intruding crocs who might eat the young. But their numbers are gradually whittled away by predators both in and out of the water, and there will be 90% mortality in the first year. Protecting the young is an unrelenting task which the female will keep up for several months. But she does have a trick that gives babysitting a whole new meaning. For if no man is an island, the same cannot be said of a crocodile. For the first couple of months of their lives, Mum makes a perfect refuge for the young, and they all gather on top of her as soon as she is available for basking. The babies, with their very thin skins, are tormented by tsetse flies. But in a way, they owe their existence to these flies. Tsetses are the carriers of sleeping sickness, and this part of the Nile was made a national park only because this disease had depopulated the area and made it uninhabitable for humans. Back on the Grumeti River, the year has come full circle. The pools are shrinking, and thousands of small catfish called squeakers come to the surface to gulp air. The wood stork catches them with ease, and even small crocs are tempted to take advantage of the weakened fish. In their first year, crocs eat mainly insects and later move up to tadpoles, frogs, and fish. This one is trying to move up a little too fast. A dragon and a dragonfly. The youngsters keep away from the adults now and hang out in these mixed age groups. They grow about a foot a year at first, slowing down as they get older. It will be 10 or 15 years before they're ready to tackle a wildebeest. They come down to the pools as they do every year, thirsty innocents, glancing without much interest at the strange shapes floating in the water. And as always, there is a week or two of primeval carnage until the crocs are full. Then there is a strange and spooky truce. Like human diners presented with a trolley of sweets at the end of a huge meal, the crocodiles cannot resist looking, but nor can they eat another thing. Only if one is accidentally stepped on is there any action. The croc weighs over a ton. The wildebeest 300 pounds. There can only be one outcome. Or can there? The croc really isn't hungry, and as we know, he has complete control over those massive jaws. The animal that kills while smiling can, it seems, also laughingly let go. Incredibly, the wildebeest walks away, unworried and unmarked. Every year, the great herds that thunder across the Serengeti come to these pools on the Grumeti and sacrifice a few dozen lives so the rest may drink. For the wildebeest, it is a small milestone on a long trek. For the crocodiles, it is crucial. These 16-footers are among the largest and heaviest crocs in Africa. A few could live along the Grumeti on a diet of catfish, but not this collection of monsters. Just as many of the smaller creatures along the river rely on the annual banquet of crocodile eggs, this unique population of crocs relies on the yearly feast provided by the migrating herds. They exist only because of the wildebeest. Africa is speckled with great lakes and laced with wide rivers. A puny stream that a baboon can jump over in the dry season, the Grumeti is the last place you would expect to find such a spectacular show put on by the world's most dramatic reptiles. So even today, as satellites chart our planet with impressive accuracy, and there are no more blank spaces on the maps, over this little corner of the Serengeti could still be written, "Here be dragons."
David Suzuki will be right back with a look at our next show, Revolution Down on the Farm.